Government borrowing still at a sustainable level, says Debt Management Office. Federal government lists 418 million naira new savings bonds. Banks' earnings hit 2.64 trillion naira in 9 months. Nigeria opens up seed production market for other African countries. This is Business Express, and we're reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I'm Leah Katun. Baba Tunde. We start the business of the day by informing you that the federal government has listed its latest issuance under its Federal Government of Nigeria Savings Bond on the Nigerian Exchange Limited. The listing of the two tranches of the Federal Government of Nigeria Savings Bond issued earlier this month paved the way for bondholders to trade in their holdings. The government had offered a 2-year federal government bonds due November 10, 2023 at a coupon of 7.376% per annum. It also simultaneously offered a 3-year FGN savings bond due November 10, 2024 at 8.376% per annum. Regulatory documents show that the government raised about 418 million naira under the savings bond in November 2021. Now, the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Ms. Patience Onia, says government borrowings is still at a sustainable level and it shows that Nigeria remains committed to repaying its loans with significant results already achieved in infrastructure. Speaking at a meeting with members of the National Assembly Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management in Abuja, Onia debunked rumors making the rounds that the Chinese government is presently seizing properties of some African countries over failure to repay their loans.
The Chinese government, in an official document which was released yesterday, said they have not seized any asset from any African country. So it means that statement is not true. All our loans, whether they are Naira debts, whether they are foreign, whether they are from China, they are serviced as and at when due.
I also believe that an effective debt management that emphasizes transparency, due process, and fiscal discipline can precipitate a turnaround in the economy.
For the nation's borrowing and repayment, members of the National Assembly are promising to review the act establishing the Debt Management Office. Nigeria's debt stock stands at $32.9 billion as at March 2021. The Ministry of Police Affairs says it is exploring other sources of generating revenue and plugging leakages towards improving income and achieving value for money.
Being rendered by the police, which is recognized by the Police Act, but which unfortunately government hasn't been seeing the value. So new application has been put in place to ensure that all this under the table revenue are brought on the table and made available for government, and especially for the benefit of the police officers, to equip them more and to ensure that they get allowances to improve their welfare.
Okay, we're joining Musa Abubakar live. He is at Transcorp Hilton, where the NGX is holding its capital market conference, the first since the demutualization. Musa, can you bring us up to speed? Really, what's happening there presently?
Actually, here at the Hilton Hotel, and where the NGX Capital Market Conference is about to start. Well, stakeholders are expected from the public and private sectors to converge here and brainstorm on how to promote capital flow, as well as innovative way of sourcing financing. And the theme of this capital market conference is future-ready capital market, innovating for Nigeria's sustainable recovery.
Musa, if you can just let us in on what has happened there so far and what is the mood like? Are the participants there? We understand the Vice President is billed to attend this event and a host of other VIPs. Can you speak to us on that?
Okay, the whole idea is for both private and public sector key players to come and actually discuss ways on how to actually promote Nigeria's recovery process. We've seen the economy grew by 4.03% in third quarter. Well, the whole idea now is to how to access finance, innovative ways to access finance for what? To maintain the recovery process.
Okay, thank you, Musa. We'll be hoping to catch up with you in the course of the day to give us some updates as events continue to unfold there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Nigeria has opened up her seed production market for other African countries, with more than 50% seeds to be sold to other countries in the West African sub-region alone. Nigeria is hosting the African Seed Business Investors this week in Abuja under the Seed Connect initiative of the federal government. A sensitization road walk was staged in Abuja as part of activities preceding the forthcoming Seed Connect Summit headed by Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar.
Concerted effort to ensure our citizens can access, afford, and utilize safe and nutritious food at all times. Our population is currently around 205 million people, and over 70% of the population are less than 35 years old. This age bracket have high dietary needs and in good quantity. We must grow more food and do it efficiently. Aside from the initial shocks that hit wealthy nations, they seem to be coping better at this time, and this is due to their robust economies. The wealth of these nations has been their shock absorbers. Recent statistics showed that the agricultural sector is the highest contributor, 29%, to the Nigerian economy.
Seed is one of the most important drivers of productivity in agriculture. Agriculture, particularly crop production, has evolved from very low productivity and high productivity due to evolution of high-yielding crop varieties. Biotic and abiotic stresses in agriculture, such as declining soil fertility and soil degradation, emerging and traditional pests and diseases, poor quality of output, of input, high cost of harvest losses, extreme weather conditions occasioned by climate change, high temperatures, drought, flood, etc.
Now to take the conversation further on issues around Nigeria's seed investment and its opportunities is the Director General National Agriculture Seed Council of Nigeria, Dr. Olusegun Philip Ojo. You're welcome, sir, to Business Express.
Thank you very much.
So perhaps we begin by you taking us through the journey of Nigeria's seed business as the leading seed sector in West Africa.
Yeah, thank you very much, Abatunde. When it comes to the seed business in West Africa, Nigeria is a leader. We are leaders in terms of the volume of seed we produce, an average of 100,000 metric tons. We are leading in terms of the number of variety we release in Nigeria. Close to 6,500 have been released. We are leading in terms of capacity building. We have institutions, universities of agriculture, and others where breeders and seed scientists are actually produced. And we also export manpower to other countries in West Africa. And in terms of regulation, the Seed Council is the leading regulator in West Africa, and our documents are actually documents that is being used in West Africa and beyond. Also, recently, ECOWAS Commission said that materials are actually blueprints for use by other West African countries. You can now see that we are indeed leaders in West Africa.
Okay, so how would you rate the value of Nigerian seeds and their potentials?
Thank you very much. As a scientist, I would not want to put a particular figure now because we are putting in place a study to actually understudy this and actually arrive at a particular value. But I want to say, judging from the quantity of seed being imported into Nigeria, and if you look at the machinery, particularly seed processing plants that are being used by stakeholders, it's actually in the range of billions of dollars. That's what I want to say. We are actually looking for partners and others to assist us in the business of actually putting together this study for us to be able to give accurate and concrete scientist figures.
Now, if I may say, Nigeria is ready to take the African market for seeds, if I'm correct. Can you tell us about the Seed Connect Africa? Tell us about that project.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Seed Connect Africa is a national and yearly convergence of seed stakeholders, not only in Nigeria, not only in Africa, but around the world. We are in the process now. We started it yesterday, and it's going to be concluded today. And I want to say that the one we are doing now is the 4th edition. We started since 2018, 2019, 2020. It was actually virtual because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this year's event is actually hybrid because of the pandemic, and also a number of people are there physically, more than 450 registered yesterday, and they're participating. And a number of people actually joining us virtually from around the world. So it's actually a big convergence.
Okay, well, do you have an idea of the African countries participating and what Nigeria is taking to the conference?
Thank you very much. When it comes to the number of Africans participating, in this convergence, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and a number of other countries outside Africa. Even let me put it on record that in this present one, Ghana sent 4 delegates. Ghana sent 4 delegates, and they're actually there. So it is actually a very big convergence, and all stakeholders are there to actually look at what we are doing, look at the gaps, and actually be able to ensure that we have business-to-business connection, and a lot of other things are actually coming up. And it is actually a win-win situation, not only for Nigeria, but for Africa. Okay,
so how do we tackle the issue of fake seeds that have always come up when we're talking seeds, their productivity and viability? And of course, some, again, have issues of substandard seeds. How do we fight this battle?
Thank you very much. The National Agricultural Seed Council is actually doing a lot in tackling this particular menace by unscrupulous seedsmen. We can do it through a number of ways, which I'm going to enumerate. There's the need for greater education and enlightenment of all stakeholders on the use of good quality seeds, and to tell the people that using good quality seeds is the best that we can do. Also, the issue of establishing a number and more demonstration plots around so that people will be able to see the benefit of good quality seeds over farmer sales seeds. The council also is deploying and has deployed seed codex tags that are actually attached to containers, and with this, stakeholders and farmers can actually be able to send information to others, and also particularly with this, the codex is actually an instrument whereby a panel is actually opened, and you see a particular hidden number, just like what happens in the pharmaceutical industries, and you test that number to a dedicated number called 1393, and immediately farmers and stakeholders will be able to see the quality parameters that is embedded in the seed that is enclosed in that container. Also, the Seed Act has made it actually mandatory and important, and also severe penalties have been introduced so that anybody that fake seeds will have to pay for it. There are severe penalties. And we want to assure and encourage others, particularly Nigerians, to join us in this, in order to police the seed market so that the activities of unscrupulous and fake dealers will be reduced to the barest minimum.
Okay, I must sincerely thank you, Dr. Olusegun Ojo, for coming on Business Express. Dr. Ojo is the Director General, National Agricultural Seed Council of Nigeria. You're highly appreciated this morning.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So now let's take a trip to the commodities market. The African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat has called for establishment of maritime communities towards achieving a competitive and integrated regional hub. The call was made at the opening ceremony of the International Conference on the Role of Transportation in African Continental Free Trade Zone area in Abuja.
Goods manufactured in Nigeria reach Chad Republic fast, reliably.
And this is where the issue of the connectivity and connection between trade and transportation.
It's time for us to form maritime communities so that these goods can actually move around.
The Nigerian government has embarked on huge transport infrastructure investment across the country to ensure efficiency in the transportation sector.
The ministry is making tremendous progress in the rail subsector.
In all circumstances, Nigeria should have the best facilities so that it can serve the rest of Africa.
There's this clear understanding that we need to develop this sector.
Oil prices climbed on Tuesday, extending a rebound from last week's plunge, and growing expectations major producers would pause plan to add crude supply in January amid uncertainty over the severity of the Omicron coronavirus variant. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures jumped 99 cents to $70.94 a barrel, adding to a 2.6% rise on Monday. Brent crude futures climbed 82 cents to $74.26 a barrel after gaining 1% on Monday. Now on our Surviving COVID-19 series is the story of Moses Ani, who is into buying and selling of made-in-Nigeria shoes, as put together by Olayinka Ojo.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
I belong in this business, so since over 15 years ago, I started this business with my family. We are doing well with it. I manage it to help my life living. Business is so good with me. Before the COVID-19, we are not doing the business, we stopped the business, but after the COVID-19, the business is going. I'm feeding my family with it, but you know, the business is so strong, but I thank God that I normally survive with it. With the situation in the country, things is moving small, but I thank God we are managing. And if I can able to see load, I pray that the business I will increase it to make many shops, to feed many people and settle many people. Yeah.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of.
Now, the need for elimination of all concerns and obstacles that hinder women from taking advantages abound in the nation's economy features prominently at the Northern Women Economic Empowerment Summit. Aminu Umar reports that the program held in Kano and has a theme empowering women entrepreneurs, a panacea for poverty reduction and job creation in northwest Nigeria.
Women constitute about half the Nigerian population. Although hardworking, they lack the opportunity, knowledge, and entrepreneurial skills to take advantage of the nation's economic potentials. Halima Sagir Musa, a graduate of geography and a housewife who opted to be an employer rather than an employee with 12 years of business experience, joined more than 100 women from northwest Nigeria to participate in this economic summit organized for them at the instance of the wife of former Vice President Amina Namadi Sambo. The aim is to address the challenges to doing business by a northern woman and expose them to available opportunities.
If you are not patient and you can't persevere the harsh economic condition we are in, you cannot survive.
And I hope when I get back home, I'm going to implement fully what all the speakers here have said.
Scholars and speakers are optimistic that with right mentorship, deliberate women-centric policies at all governmental levels, attitudinal change and capacity building among others, the women have great things to offer to the nation economically.
Women have continued to grapple with limited social and economic opportunities. But in spite of these challenges, Nigerian women actively participate in agriculture and other micro-enterprises.
I would like to call on all participants here today to key in to various economic programs lined up by the federal government and state governments.
Before we leave here, we should decide that they put together a team with clear terms of reference, clear timelines, decide with how many women we want to work with them to make sure that we build their skills and we grow their businesses.
The summit is expected to be a game changer, not only to women like Halima Sagir to do better, but to cascade their mentorship to women down the economic ladder.
And of course, let's bring you updates from the capital market where Nigeria traded yesterday marginally on the downside after the oil share index recorded a decline of 9 basis points. Profit taking has been characterizing trades at the Nigerian market, and outside home, Japan's stocks jumped as China's November factory activities were stronger than expected.
Investors across the world continue to track developments surrounding the Omicron variants. In Asia, most shares fell on Tuesday as major markets in the region fell after Moderna CEO Stephanie Bassel said it could take months to develop and ship an Omicron-specific vaccine. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index was among the region's biggest losers, falling 2.29%. Japan's Nikkei 225 dropped 1.63% to close at 27,821.76. U.S. stock futures tumbled in early Tuesday trading, reversing from a rebound on Wall Street as investors reassess risks associated with the new Omicron COVID variants. Futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average dived 424 points, or S&P 500 futures was down as well as the Nasdaq 100 futures. European sharply lower on Tuesday, with futures reversing themselves on new new fear around the Omicron COVID variants and vaccines. The UK FTSE index is seen opening 83 points lower at 7,109. Germany's DAX 251 point lower. CAC 40 of France also 114 points lower. Markets in Africa expected to open on negative notes this Tuesday over the same Omicron COVID variant, with the biggest losses expected to be recorded in Southern Africa. Bosse de Ebo, Business Express.
Of course, Bossa, thank you. And the concerns about the virus continues to spread. And of course, it is triggering concerns around the world. So remember to keep safe out there, wash your hands, use your face mask, and observe all protocols. We come to the end of Business Express for today. The program returns tomorrow at 3 p.m. My name is Leah Katun. Baba today. God bless Nigeria.